Hola, mi amigo and amigas. Hola, welcome to our show today, Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy. Another edition, here we are, and welcome in. My name is Billy Gibbs. That guy right over there is Mr. Mike Brabennick. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Mr. Gibbs.
Yeah,
How are you?
I'm good. I am really good. It's been quite a week. It's been quite a week, and just glad to be sitting here. The room full of people. There's a lot. We are full of it today. The whole studio
Yes,
is
we
definitely going
are.
to be full of it. And we've got Nikki Anderson, one of our sponsors,
Whoa.
and one of, I guess she's an engineer and our chip stacker. She is with us here today. Dave Shamandel in studio from Slick Sticks is here today. Anytime the four of us get together, we're going to be full of it. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. We noticed a week or so ago in the Zurich Classic that they stole our idea about playing songs.
Yeah, what was...
So we brought that up a couple of years back. Think it would have been a great idea when you get, and there they are doing it. So once again, one of our great ideas has come to fruition. Is that a word? Fruition?
Fruition.
Yeah.
Fruition.
So I tried to find. I couldn't even spell it well.
Was there
enough to
dry
recognize
ice?
it. No, that could be at like the majors or
Yeah.
something. Because that was one of your ideas too. Dry ice when they come.
Dry ice.
Breaking through the ice and when the song's playing.
Yep.
So we thought we'd talk today and come up with some songs that maybe we would choose. Mine's changing daily. Today would have been Dazed and Confused for sure. From Led Zeppelin would have been my theme song today. But it has been going back and forth.
I have to get you. You have to give me yours so I can pop it up here.
Yeah, I will during
during
I'll
a break.
tell you during one of the breaks.
Yeah.
We have some exciting news. We had an amazing tournament last weekend at where Dave's at Monarch Dunes to support the first tee of Central Coast, and some exciting things happened there, and we'll be talking a lot about that today. Really cool stuff. So I won't spoil it yet until we bring it up. What else we got today? We're going to be drawing the Orange Whip winner today.
Winner.
Some good comments on the gentleman who won your stay and play packages, so that was pretty cool. Did you have a stay and play that was it last week we announced?
Last week.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Last week we announced that. Yep.
Mr. Jim DeLobby will be calling in. He's been working on more formulas as usual. He's been in the laboratory. And what do we call it? The laboratory? Is that what we call it?
The laboratory.
And so he'll be calling in with some of his stuff. So it should be a fun show. So welcome, everyone. Welcome, Dave. How are you?
I'm doing well, Billy. How you?
I'm good. Miss Nikki, how's your week going?
My week's going great.
Yes, I bet.
Yeah.
So
Tell us about it, Nikki.
Not yet.
Not yet. Not yet. We're
Thank you,
we're letting
Dave.
it simmer a little bit.
Simmer.
Yeah, let it simmer. So, Mike, what's up? How you doing in BM? You got BM this morning?
I do, and it's actually golf related.
Really?
Wow.
It is golf related. Been on a tournament marathon with managing golf tournaments, and there's a common theme of people not knowing how to fill out a scorecard. It absolutely blows my mind.
You know what?
It absolutely
So,
blows my mind.
Lack of education, lack of
we're
just
Doing announcements.
lazy.
How hard is it?
I'm questioning that. I'm wondering that myself at this point. I literally, you know what I should be doing? I
then-
should be taking pictures of these scorecards because I have never seen scorecards filled out in so many different ways.
Maybe you should go like bowling, and you have the little thing where you just put your number on a screen.
Yeah.
And it all just computes itself.
Yeah.
So you just kind of all you have to do is put your little 8 right there or whatever bowling. That's what I get, a lot of 8s.
So
bowling.
so this last, there you go, nice.
So I'm aware of that.
The last 2 weeks and the next 4 weeks are all tournaments, so I'm getting to experience all this. 2 weeks, I've had 2 teams turn in 2 separate scorecards with 2 entirely different scores
Same
With
team.
the same people?
in a 4-person scramble.
So they brought in 2 cards instead of 1, and both cards were different.
Completely different.
Well, then, so
Completely different. And my frustration is in the announcements that we take in the morning, and everybody's around us and said, just write your gross score. Your official card has the black marker on it with your hole assignment. That's all we need.
Do you
That's
think,
it.
Do you think it's because of they're trying to change numbers to do better? mean,
I don't know.
Is it by the pencil, or they're trying to? They see a score, so oops, we need another. You know what I mean? Is
I
it
think
malice.
I
or
think
is
part of it is
laziness?
communication between the teams.
So it's not
That's what
malice. it's
Or are they
No.
putting their net scores down?
It's a scramble, you said?
all we need is the gross score.
I understand that.
And it's
but
a
do they?
scramble.
So here's another interesting thing, and again, maybe part of it is because people that play in scrambles, like a lot of people playing scrambles, don't play golf that much. So if you don't play, then maybe writing a number into the scorecard is harder. Like maybe we take that for granted. I don't know. I had a guy turn in a card yesterday with 11 -1s on it. I'm like speechless.
The whole room was. We had nothing to add to that.
Yeah.
So he was 18 under par?
I don't know. What's 11 minus ones? What? There's
Minus-
nothing. There's
oh,
no, there's
11.
nothing. There's
11.
nothing in the. There's nothing in the other
Minus
7
11.
boxes of the 18-hole scorecard.
Oh, so he just said that was under the pars. So he was
Yeah.
putting like we were one under here. So
Yeah.
that's how he does it in his little mind when he plays by himself or something.
So how do I tie break that?
You can't.
How do I tie break that card
Or
without the numbers?
You know, I
did he
could-
make one birdie, then it just remained at -1 as he
well,
made
that's
pars?
that's exactly my. I
Or
don't
did he
know.
make 11 birdies?
And you shouldn't have to try to figure out their rocket science. You should, there's a simple instruction.
Yeah.
So we played in an event last weekend, which is a shamble, which is and it's a best 2 of 4, so it's a little more complicated. Where you need 2 scores, and and there's net and gross,
Yeah.
and it's probably one of the most complicated scorecards. Matter of fact, I looked at the group behind us, and they were playing a scramble.
Oh, that happens all the time.
So we noticed they were like, okay, they don't quite get it. And that's like after 4 holes or something. So we didn't just let it go. But it's interesting because that can get complicated. But it was very clear. The instructions were clear. The scorecards
was
were
written
The
down.
scorecards were clear.
Yeah.
We knew what we needed to do, and you had your best gross and best net, and everything was on the card. And I could see that getting somewhat confused, but not
Yeah.
a scramble.
I,
I don't see how a scramble.
And I guess
could be
I-
confused at all.
I bring it up out of frustration. My frustration is I want to get it right.
Well, yeah,
like
of course.
there's nothing worse, and I've had it happen. There's nothing worse than you hand in the results, and
So do you have,
someone's
to, you have
in-
to call them in the microphone, get them up to the table, and do
yeah.
that whole thing?
And I had 2 guys arguing with each other,
Same team?
same
Oh,
time.
same team. Perfect.
Oh, nice. That's,
Yeah,
that's
and but the last thing I want is either the person who's doing the announcements, or if I have to do the announcements, or if someone on the staff has to do the announcements, and you're in the middle of handing out the prizes, and someone goes, "That's not right," and then you're like, "Oh."
It is now.
Gosh, and it's like it's that moment of like everything slows down and freezes and goes, okay, what did we do wrong?
yeah, that's
But-
as an operator, that's got to be frustrating. But it should be a simple. Maybe it should go like bowling. I was kind of teasing at first. but
No,
maybe there should be a little laptop. You got your tablet. And you punch in your number, and
And that's all you can do.
It goes right. It's
And that's all you can do.
and That's all you can
That's
do.
all you can do. It is to me. It's a fascinating study in human behavior because they literally are art forms. With some of the scorecards, every card is different.
Are there pictures?
Circles, squares, extra dots, triangles, hit green
Yeah.
numbers.
So here's another one. I'll try to describe it because it's obviously it's radio, but this is visual. There's 4 names on the card. It's a scramble, so you're taking 1 score.
They put all scores
So they put either yes, they put a score.
by the person who made the putt, maybe.
I guess
Or it was his drive.
Or it could have been his
I don't know,
drive,
but
yeah.
it's not marked on the
There's-
card.
There's one reason they
It
put the
just
numbers.
goes up, and there's no rhyme or reason. It'll be like if it was the 4 of
them
us
there
playing,
was.
it'd be like on hole 1, the score goes on my name. I could be listed the first guy. Dave could be the 4th guy. Hole number 2 is Dave's
Well,
score.
I think Dave might hit
And-
it on a button.
and it just goes-
It might be the drive they selected. Because
Okay.
if you need so many drives of a person,
Yeah.
that's if they put that score, whoever's drive is
would
selected,
it be helpful
Easier
to
to see.
would-
easier to see that?
would it be helpful to write that on the card?
Yes, it would. It would be helpful to describe what they're doing. We're trying to throw in logic to something as well.
I know.
And don't you love it when they turn in the scorecard and you go, "This isn't what I said
Yeah.
we were going to do," and they go, "But that's how I always do it."
Oh my
And I'm
God.
just
well,
having
that's good.
I'm just having fun with this because the more I thought about it, because when you're in the moment of these things and you start doing stuff like as many turns as we've been doing the last 2 weeks, you start noticing these little things.
Well, did you have?
And it's like you wouldn't think it's that big of a deal. Then the other part is the I had a guy who he turned in the scorecard and they had a score for each hole, and then on the in, which is the
yeah.
front 9, right, total, he wrote
No,
an-
coming in is
It's
the back
out.
nine.
right back 9. In the out he wrote another number, like a single digit number. And then they started playing the back 9, and then they got to the out,
they're
and
adding
there's
10
another
holes.
single digit number.
They played an extra
They
hole.
played
So-
20 holes.
and
They
then they-
played each of those holes twice.
And then there's a score. So I hand it to him and I go, "Hey, before you turn this in, why don't you check with your team? Like, I'm not sure if you guys played an extra hole or what." He's like, "Oh no, that's how many we were under par." And I said, "And you put that in the total?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, I do that." Like Dave, I do that all the time. I go, "Would you want to maybe put Is it a minus? Is it a plus? Is it, what is it? And I said, because that could be interpreted that you played another hole, or I'm thinking
7.
maybe you played the 9th hole and wrote it in the end, or the 18th hole and wrote it in the out, or
And it should
whatever.
not. You should not have to interpret anything.
No.
I mean, that's what. And so, did you have? Often there's that you have to yell for the final scorecard to come in. Please, if you're out there, we need the scorecards at the table.
And they're playing the last 4 holes.
Thompson Group. Where's your scorecard?
So-
Half of them have gone home already.
So I did that yesterday. So there's two left, but the room is full, and I'm in the club room at Paso, and the room is full, and there's two cards left to be given to me. So I make the announcement over the microphone, and all of a sudden, like 15 seconds later, this guy pops out from behind like a armoire, and he goes, "My card's right here!" He's been over there drinking,
Nice.
and he hands me his card, and he's like, "I got it." And then I'm like, "Okay, thanks." And then the last guy walks up, and he goes, "We didn't do very well."
I'm not going to turn in my homework.
And he goes,
Does not turn
we
in
shot
homework.
we shot a 72. I said, "Okay, well, I'll write that on the board because it's not going to win anything, right?" So I post it on the board, and then I calculate out the net, and he comes up a minute later and goes, "No, we shot a 73." And I go, "I'm leaving it."
Okay.
I said, "I'm not changing that." And I said, "I'm really sorry." I said, if you want to write it and change it, go ahead. I said, "I'm not touching it." And
We're done.
I don't.
yeah, I said, "We're done."
Mike, now I understand why you have your own parking place out front because I don't think people understand the pressures that the golf operators.
Oh,
go
that
through.
is a tough job.
So scorekeeping, man. It's always we
Well, then you also get the group.
We did
Go
it,
ahead.
Mike and I. We did it for the ladies. The big tournament they had at Avil every year.
Oh my gosh, that Dolphin Day thing. I
Dolphin
love
Day.
Dolphin Days,
That's
but the
what it
scoring
was.
was a nightmare.
Woo! That was always fun, man.
So we're gonna have a 4th flight.
yes,
This is if you live in the southern section of
by
San Luis
regions.
Obispo County.
Fourth flight by regions.
If you live in a
Best dressed
2-story
by the
house,
north.
and if you drive a car that's white,
Yes, white
you're
cars
going to be
are-
in this flight known as South County White Middle-Aged Woman,
That's right.
and and now that's a member,
Don't
and
put
then
it
we
up
also
yet.
have a version of that which is member guest, and then we have a guest
and then
version of that.
visitors of guests come in, so we have to have that.
And then if they win in one of those flights, you got to pull them out of that flight because then they can't win again.
And they're. And we're down at the tent
So
going,
you go
where's
ahead.
the results? Where's the results? We're like, ah! We're trying. We got a lot of things up here.
Rabbinick's got them.
That's why I
That was
quit, man.
Such a nightmare.
I was in therapy after that for
Something
weeks.
happened at that tournament. I can't remember what it was. Something.
No,
Oh,
we got smart
oh.
and put the scoreboard way away from the tent, though, for a while. Remember, we were right near
Somebody.
the tent.
Yeah, one of
That was
the
brutal.
ladies' club did the cards one year, and they dotted them incorrectly.
Yeah, they were dotted wrong, so we had to fix all the dots.
We had to fix every
it was like
single
a Braille
card,
Institute, man.
and we actually couldn't fix the nets, and we couldn't fix it until like the next day. It was virtually impossible.
We called it the dot.
Oh,
matrix.
for where they got strokes?
Yeah,
Dots?
they
Oh,
had
okay.
them
We
wrong.
had 144 ladies.
Did they not
Oh.
go off the right handicap? Is
Right.
that it?
Or they- And then we call it dot matrix that week.
And that was before the computers actually did what
Yeah.
they do now.
They did it by
So
hand.
yes,
I have a question for you on that.
That was
Yeah.
fun.
So, if you
I
have
took that next day off.
a
I remember.
lady playing from the men's tees,
Mm-hmm.
does she pop off the ladies' handicap or the men's handicap?
See how it starts? This is how it
the
starts.
slope
There we go.
rating. There's a slope rating for
for the length,
tees
for tees.
for the women. So there's
By handicap hole, I mean.
yes. So it's sloped based off of if it says ladies playing the whites and
Right.
such and such, then
co-
it
the
adjusts
computers
from
do
there.
that now.
Yes.
Oh, the computers do,
Yes.
but it's not on the card. On
No.
the card is
Well,
just
that was one of the issues.
The card is the card. The card is, if you're
The men's
playing,
handicap.
if you're
Card,
playing
card, and the
exactly.
card is the card.
If you're
Yeah.
playing the front tee, then that's the handicap
Yeah.
for the ladies.
yeah.
So unless you're going to jump to the whites and play from the men's grouping,
Yeah.
then that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Well,
It's
I applaud you for getting through it.
yeah,
You
it was
look
good.
You look good,
Thank you.
and I will never complain about your parking place. Ever
I got my
again.
adrenaline back now.
Man.
We're going to take our first break. When we come back, we've got
I had a
some.
little part of it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Well, go ahead.
It's a little BM.
Just a little guy.
Little
Sorry.
popper.
Sorry. I'm just looking at time. That's all.
You know,
You go with your.
I'll make it very.
I
quick.
really apologize. I was
So I had the pleasure of being at the Spring Classic for the first tee. Last few years I was away training, and one of the cool things at the end is I got to get up and introduce some of the players that are in the tournament that had actually been part of the first tee. And was it 8 or 10 kids, young people, not kids, some of them aren't. Roy Dahl was in our program 13 years ago. So they just kept coming up, and so I had this line of young people. I think there was 9 or something
I think
like
there was
that.
more than that.
And they just kept coming up, and so I got to stay. I felt really old, but very proud at the
Yeah.
same time, because I
That's
had them
cool.
from 12 years old up to 25 years old that have been in the program, and we passed the mic down the line, and they all said something about how the first tees affected their life or impacted their life, and it was pretty cool. And it was had a little tear coming out of my eye.
It
and-
was really cool.
and it was just neat to see that many young people that I didn't realize. Rory's 8'10" now. I
Yeah,
mean,
he's
just
big.
and he's a golf professional. I have him in college. Kids are coming back from college to play. The alumnus here, the current players are playing. It was a very cool moment for me to see that we really are, and it's almost a third of the field. Well, that's not
That's
true. We had
so
112
cool.
players. Or
That's
something.
awesome.
But it was very cool. Huh, Nikki?
Yeah,
pretty cool.
it was
I think
really
Nikki
cool.
was there, and we'll talk about what did you play?
Yeah.
And you had your scorecards. Everything were all good.
I think my scorecard was good.
I'm sure we hope this one was right, but it was cool.
Well, yeah, we had a question about that.
Yeah. So we'll be right back here. When we come back, we're going to talk about a very exciting thing that happened at the first tee tournament at Monarch Dunes this past Saturday. I want to remind you guys, Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy, brought to you by TaylorMade Golf. Check out the latest M3, M4 drivers, fairway woods, hybrids, and irons at TaylorMadeGolf.com today. Also brought to you by Slick Sticks, your key to better golf. Clubs, grips, repairs, adjusting loft and lies. Dave Shimano and Slick Sticks are your winning combination. Call Dave at 805-598-9993. We'll be right back. Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy on the Golf Talk Radio Network.